Thank you so much for joining us this evening for this new series that we are doing at the Schomburg called Artists in the Archives. Katie Fuller created Race and Revolution, born out of the feeling of profound pain over the centuries of death and injustice that people of color have had to endure. Please welcome Nell Painter and the artist from Race and Revolution.
Katie Fuller has lived an adventurous life. She's traveled to 6 continents, lived in 5 cities in 2 countries. Katie has become particularly intrigued by how constitutional law has been applied to support racist ideologies. Cannupa Hanska Luger is an artist and a worker. Nona Faustine is a photographer and visual artist. Curtis Trost Santiago is a Canadian Trinidadian, currently engaged in his ongoing and prolific Infinity series of miniature dioramas in reclaimed ring boxes.
I'm very passionate about history and language, and I think a lot about how language has been used to manipulate laws so that the term white privilege is used a lot today. I think it goes a little deeper. I think it's more white supremacy. And so I think about how the laws have been used to manipulate outcomes in order to maintain this order of white supremacy.
That's the basis of the body of work that I wanted to work on, was to help us recognize that this is not our land. This was never our land, that we're its people.
I realized that documentary wasn't going to be enough. It wasn't enough to tell the kind of stories that I wanted to tell, or I needed to come up with a new language.
I'm on a quest to find out my ancestry, and not through sending my DNA to 23 whatever, but communicating with myself.
The artists are telling you about the meaning of their work and the meaning of what they make, what it means for them, what they hope you might get from their work, but certainly it's about meaning.
I always ask myself, am I an artist if I'm put in a situation where I have nothing, can I still create something?
Of course, we were behind the camera, but also the first images, early images that you see of Black people are enslaved images. And that was the role of photography, to document that.
I have concepts every day, and what I recognize is that there's value in developing skill sets to turn your concept into a form that is used for communication. You know, I can talk to you a lot better with those. I
didn't know it at the time. It was intuition, but the more that I'm there, the more I realize how much that space was meant to house these pieces. And they really, now I use the word, like they've kind of melted into the house.
So I'm from Standing Rock Reservation, and right now they're trying to put in this Dakota Access Pipeline. And, some of the media and the press, are like, oh, it's resolved. Obama put out a thing, and it's not. It's just like a temporary aspect. Up there, one of the things that's amazing up at this camp right now that nobody really talks about, they say this is the largest gathering of Native people in 100 years. But what they're not recognizing is that the number of different tribes that are gathering up there has never happened. We have never existed in that form of solidarity here in the Americas. We have never supported ourselves. Our cultures are vastly different. And they want to decide what we consider sacred. What are our sacred sites? And I say to you, the place you stand is holy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that, if I get to choose, I say everywhere,
Right. And for me, I wanted to see myself, and I wanted to see Black women back in those natural, beautiful spaces, it's associated with nature again. Like,
My best art comes when I'm thinking in the mind of a child, which is not stepping down. To me, it's stepping up.
the greatest gift, I think, being a New Yorker, has been having a place like the Schomburg.
Yeah.
This
Yes,
place,
the Schomburg.
let me tell you. like all that stayed with me. Like all that information and archive and the Schomburg was like a place inside, you know. I took that wherever I went until I was ready to utilize it, and I didn't know how, and then all of a sudden I did. So that was a gift that you have given me and many other people to our past, and it's so important that you bring your kids here and your grandkids and show them how to find out about who they are.